Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, but as you said, what you just said, we pick the cook. So we got to clean up the cook. I know we good again. But yeah, what you said.
Yeah. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. We'd have to deal with the Canaan thing, you know?
Yeah. That would be great.
Coming never get to really respond because we couldn't really text the thing because I just like that was the last straw. That wasn't even the first thing I was dealing with. Like, with Canaan because there's a show that they've been advertising named Raising Canaan or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's 50 Cent thing. That's a spin-off.
Yeah, they've been.
Okay.
It's from them time that we did that. We did that thing about it, but when I saw this one, I was like, all right, like,
Canaan is in the
all
lead.
right, I got to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, that was like a confirmation. Plus, like, it was just kind of like a synergy in a way because I was like recently looking at some things on some gangs that run Bubba Hill Red.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
So, like, I was looking at all of that. Like, like the new Canaan thing with the gang them, the Bubba Hill thing with the gang them, and the Canaan thing. I'm going like, I was like, there's a lot going on here. Like, there's a lot of symbolism happening.
Yeah. Archetypal.
I and I, like, you know what I mean? And a lot of symbolism. Like, a lot of things that can shift, like, are shifting right now. Like, a lot of shit is going on. Like, a lot of foundation is getting upset. Like, I could say, like, a lot of things that people that feel like a certain set is like, it's shifting out. Like,
Yeah. The time I changed.
I mean, it been going on in a sense, but it's just,
It's reached a milestone where you can actually see the result of what's been going on in a certain sometimes.
Yeah, like I feel it now. Like even the new Canaan and the Bubba Hill thing, that and the Canaan thing, like all of that.
But and a new Canaan it name, you know.
What Canaan? Whatever. Like
It named Canaan Heights.
Canaan Heights.
Which is crazy to me.
Canaan Heights.
If it's a new Canaan, that's what I'm interested in, but it's a Canaan Heights, literally.
There's somewhere near that, I'm sure there is. I'm saying that because I must have seen it. There is somewhere near that.
But this one named, the place I named Canaan Heights.
Right.
So that's why when I text you, I say Canaan Heights, HEIGHT / Canaan Heights, ITES. Like, I'm like, wow, okay. So that's why I was like, I would love to hear what you're seeing in this, because I could say a million things, but okay, but it was, you sent the video, so you must have a take, so that's why I was interested.
Yeah, because I don't work in that thing. I've been seeing, like, we dealt with it the other night, but I've been seeing a lot of things with it, and it's been in my thoughts even before that. Like, I've been thinking a long time I think about Canaan, man, because Canaan or whatever I say, because it's a very interesting thing. Oh, another thing too is I came across something about the Edomites. The Edomites.
That did what?
The Edomites.
Where do I?
Where they said they live in Canaan or something. Man, is it the Edomites or is it the
Amorites?
It could be the Amorites or the Edomites or because
Edom is Esau, so yeah.
Right, so that's the Edomites.
Right.
The Edomites. Edom is Esau.
Right,
So
yeah.
the Edomites. So, like, God, the other scripture that said, like, the word born and we are against the Egyptians, God, you were a stranger in their land. Like,
right.
That's why I say, yeah, the Edomite, them are relatives, so the born and we are like,
right.
Like the born and we are to the Edomite, kind of related to them.
Yeah, man.
God, that scripture that so, which I think the Edomites were somehow linked to Canaan or something like that. I wasn't my research, but I just thought the whole thing was interesting because Canaan is just very, very mysterious. It's a research project in itself. Enough to really dig into Canaan. Canaan is very interesting. And it doesn't seem like there's that much focus on it ever. It's kind of just treated as incidental in a way.
To some people.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of
it's incidental thing. A lot I can't never really go into it. I guess there's studies if you are looking at it, but you don't really say really much about Canaan. You know what I mean? You see, I want to too much speculate about them people and about that people, but you don't really sit up too tough. But there's a world of research, research.
Well, as you said, I touched on some of it, our first week, because there's stuff out there. There's things you can know. You understand me? It's just feel do whatever. But the point is, the great thing about it is that the interest, when one show interest, they always find something because they're a different person. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's always, whenever you have an interest in something, that's why I always fake tease you about Abe Lincoln, but I'm very serious about it in a sense, because I just have a feeling that just from your perspective, you're going to see something different. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's very valuable. So you understand, it is what it is. It's a lot of stuff, and that's the reason why the research of so-called West Africa and its connection to the Levant, which is Canaan, is so important. And a lot of books are being written about that right now. A lot of interest is being focused on that, because that's the key, as you can see. The key is understanding Canaan, understanding the Haberu, what they call the Haberu, which is the Hebrews coming out, and just the Shemitic people coming out of the Levant. You understand me? And just there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. It just depends on what you're interested in. What you understand me? If you're interested in, you could be interested in what Egypt was getting out of the Levant or out of Canaan, as far as tribute. You understand me? When they were ruling that part, then you understand when Moses them basically overthrew Egypt for that 13 years, after the time of the Exodus. You understand me? There was a lot of people coming out of the Levant, coming into Egypt, and a lot of socio-political shift. You understand me? In Egypt happened at that time because of the influx. You understand me? And it was a rowdy influx. You dig? So there's lots of stuff on it. You can't stop research these things. We can't have enough people on these things, because
I remember when I was digging into there's a guy I was watching some lectures, some different lectures. I was watching heavy on the point when I was in that thread of research. When I tried to research the Hittites and Ixos and all them. I mean, every month over this it's a research thing on a different TV than the Ixos and all kind of thing. Because the man said Hebrews are good at Ixos something there, right?
It's like saying foreigner. Everyone is a Hyksos in a certain sense. Do you understand what I'm dealing with? That's like saying, yo, that man is a foreigner. That no means say that man there Germany, or say that man there Switzerland. Like as far as Egyptian vernacular, Hyksos is basically saying foreigner. You understand me? I said they even call they even call people who are not, you understand, like shepherds, like Hyksos, like, so it just becomes a slang. Like any dark skinned person is a nigga. Like they don't have to have been associated with the transatlantic slave trade or like you understand. Like it just becomes a byword.
Generic.
Yes. Because
And some of them said shepherd kings. But, you know,
right. But these are all like it basically they call all Shemitic people, like all Afro-Asiatic people coming out, like, you know what I mean, across from what was, you know what I mean, Levant, Canaan, what would you call Sumer, like, you understand, that whole, you know, across the Euphrates side, like there was like, if you study, you get to understand that there was literally environmental things that were happening that were you know, like when you like use up a place where it can't yield nothing again, like that's basically what's happening. And like people were moving to more fertile, you know what I mean, places, and like
Egypt was more like America or something.
right, and it was like the old world going to the new world, like how like Europe, right? It was a version. It was like, you know, like you could make your fortune in U.S. those times. You could come like just chop down woolly by trees, kill woolly by buffalo, like fish, do enough things, like buy some nigga, like you could do anything, like you could reach. So like that was how Egypt was, like they saw it as fertile ground, so they started to move that way. Yes, they started to move that way and start to establish themselves, like in I'm saying that doesn't mean people wasn't there, and then that's where, you understand, like different little like that's what the whole conquering part of it is, and that's still happening to this day. The exact same culture, the exact same vibe. Like His Majesty had to do it, like everyone has to do it, bro. Like you can't just like ask your way into an empire. You understand me? Like, so like that's basically what it was like, because like even like there was Hyksos, you understand me, ruling Egypt for 100 years, even before Hebrews came in, before Joseph. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and like they're not the same people as the so-called Hebrews, but as far as the Egyptians are concerned, they are. Do you understand? You're coming from the same place. Shithole countries, you know what I mean? I don't care. Like we hate all of y'all. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of that. So you have to really dig deep to this, you know what I mean, to get to all of that stuff. And there's a lot more sources than just the Bible, or like, you know what I mean, like like the white man archaeology and stuff like that. You understand what I mean? There's lots of historians from those times that give a lot of clues, and you gotta read everything and put everything together if that's what you're interested in. But I know a little bit about it. You understand what I mean? But like it's not as convoluted as one time. You understand me? Some people would like to keep it that way, but you understand me? Like it's not that crazy. You understand me? It's just to study the region a little bit. You understand? And study some of like.
But I mean, it's our region still, like it's our region because
Exactly.
Everything I'm on is like it's that region that most of the people.
Exactly.
It's a certain region that I deal with from you know, what I call it, said northern and eastern Sub-Saharan Africa
Mm-hmm.
to just a little Mediterranean region.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry, hold on. Sorry, my boss. And blood clots. Constantly a problem. But as you were saying, it's a region still, which is a fact.
Yeah, it's a region, not
Yeah,
mostly.
yeah, but that's the problem. Like when you're looking for it to be so white people and black people, like these guys and those guys, that's when you can't understand. You're not trying to.
They're seeing everything
Right.
through that, like they're conditioned in that. And
Right.
you can't-
Right.
It's like you can't know that. Like,
Right. Right.
unless something snaps you out of that, like you can't know that.
Like they would be
Like, you
surprised to
can't
know.
know that.
Sorry.
You can't know that the way how your mind is seeing things. It's not like what it was. Like you
Nope.
can't know that because all you know is appearance is one.
Yeah.
Like black and white, they're born in that atmosphere. Like,
Yeah, and you feel, and then them go tell you say, those people were like what we know or understand as recent descendants of Europe, regardless of what their belief system is, and them go so boom son, and them have that in their mind, and then just like twins of twins, one of the twins of twins, they say, these things been going on from before times that, and them banya away over this one little piece of land from all that. Like you're an idiot. When was this? When did Germans and Polish people like what? Like what?
it's true, like it's just ignorance. It's really
Like but the people them feel so proud when them attack this bullshit. Like them feel like them know because some people ain't know nothing. Them feel like them learn a little my narrative and then them feel so proud them can recite it. Meanwhile it's a false narrative.
It's a false narrative, but it's the one that's out there.
Right.
Like, and the thing that easy, the thing is easy, like, I see how easy it is, like, for the ignorant system on, like, it's
Super easy.
Because certain things, like, just certain things, like, get repeated all the time, like,
Right.
blacks and Jews, like, right minutes till you're gone. Like,
Yep.
you're gone.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
That's something that's
So
much
and those
the
things
culture.
are purposefully, like when you're just saying it, like when some guy is just saying it and ignorantly, there's people who know the seeds they're planting and they know, like, yes, this is more, this is safeguarding us and more. Yep.
Done. They know these people are finished.
Yep. Because they're letting certain things go under the radar, like. And
Yeah,
then,
like, you're amazed, like, everyone does it. Everyone does it. Blacks are things. Every time you say it, you mash it up yourself.
Yep.
Every single time.
Exactly.
And that goes on thousands, over and over
Yep.
again,
Yep.
every day. Just
Light up your thing, right?
just hypnotizing them,
Yep.
like,
Yep. Yep.
giving you extra knowledge and a lesson, like,
Yep.
hypnotizing.
Yep. Yep. From afar,
it's
like
crazy.
hyper, like.
It's like, I catch these things, but them not catching. They're not seeing. They're not business with that. They're not all day. They're not gonna say that all day.
Yep.
Like, they're gonna see that all day. And they're not even stop to think. So now, you have made it, like, you've made your speech, like, you've made it so your speech, like,
Yep.
every day. I said, black hand youth, like, it's now made yourself a color who has nothing to do with the thing called Jews. Like,
Right.
you're just a color, and then there's that thing. Like, you've done it. You've spoken the reality into this.
Exactly.
You know, like,
Abracadabra.
you are living that and passing it down to your children and neighbors.
Yep. Yep. Thanks, Mom.
So it's a very, very ill thing, you know, like, it's an ill thing. That's how the show work, like, or the hypnosis work, like, it's a terrible thing. I have every mind on TV, every leader, every ruler. I never say that.
They get paid to
All
say
of
it.
them I say.
They get paid to say it. Like
I
literally.
Even the president, I say. Even the president, I say.
Like, look, these people get paid to say these things. Like, Dutty Jackson, Dutty Jesse.
All of it.
Like, them man, they are really wicked, you know. Actually, you know.
Well, I mean, one of them are wicked.
Me
These
feel like I am kill Martin Luther King. Stay there. Bam back.
These are the things that are
Me feel.
like,
Some me feel.
these are the things that are used, man.
And I have nothing. I have absolutely nothing to show or prove that. It's just a vibe that, you know, like. You understand? Me, like, not even a scenario in my ear, not even nothing in my ear, like, where it go like that, where it sounds similar. Yeah, I feel like, yo, what year did I do up there? Like, who you, man? Like, I'm from there, so yeah, just big up.
The thing gets all weird, like, it's like them separate the thing, and then, like, the militant, them treat them fake against the Abrahamic kingdom, like, them spread the narrative that they're like, them think that's some big Eastern man, like, come in Africa and spread their religion.
Yo, them are idiot. Them are idiot.
That's the
All right.
narrative, like, that's
All right.
that's like the black nationalist narrative.
Yeah. Like they're anti-Arabism. Like, if they don't even know what an Arab is. But anyway,
Like
That's like saying an American.
Like the
What is that?
nationalism, like the black nationalism, them love the like the Middle Eastern thing, like them get red when them hear them things that like our Bible are, and then they get
All right,
red,
watch out.
like,
Watch out. These are facts, right? Every man knows this, but for ear, with a, like, all right. Hey, why am I giving the Bible? Why am I giving the Bible? Right? All right. That's a damn lie, and I could go way back to prove that. Like, but let's not even do that. The white man gave you the Bible. Do you know that the nigger people, then, to use the official term that I like to use, black, ugly nigger people, was not allowed to read during this transatlantic chattel slavery thing where everybody loved to talk about? That's a fact, right? All I got was, what does that tell you? The accent is throwing me off. I can't.
The only thing they allowed the slaves to have was the Bible.
That's a
The
lie.
only thing they allowed the slaves to read was the Bible.
That's a lie. They didn't allow them to read anything. And do you know that their churches, they didn't allow them to have a church like where they say, yeah man, just hold a Bible here and just doing a thing, like just behind closed doors, just doing a thing. That never happened. What they had was a white man comes in and quotes whatever passage and associates it to people who are illiterate and says, this is what the Bible says.
You can't tell them that. You
Like,
can't tell
they
them
didn't, they never had that. They never had the Bible to read at their leisure. Like, they never had that.
You can't tell these
They were
people.
and the one thing that they were not allowed, especially like when the like, you know, like certain indentured servants like have certain responsibilities. They have to kind of read to a degree. You dig what I mean? I deal with?
Right.
Like, you can't just have a done suit to do certain things. Like,
No, it's gonna happen. Some man are gonna learn off.
like, so them did know. Said, all right, Bobby or Sammy, him have to go know for read within this glory. You see me? Like, me can't just have him up here.
You know at least this much.
Yeah, man, he can't done suck and run this. So
Right.
watch out. This, right? So the one thing where out of that, the one thing they couldn't read was the Bible. That people don't understand. And then when they did sneak away, steal away, and get a Bible and read it for themselves, what happened? What happened historically?
They get enlightened. They get enlightened.
What happened? But even more than that, every rebellion, every revolt, every uprising was Bible centered. Every, as much as every, oh, all right, come on.
They build up these little narratives.
Yeah. After the fact, but these are the historical facts. They weren't. If they gave them the Bible and that was the thing, that's all they had to do was give them the Bible, right? Why not give it to you from day one? Like, what's all this not reading shit?
Why hide it?
Like,
Why
what's
hide it?
all this? What's all this hundreds of years of not reading? Like reading, capture, don't read. Why? Why wouldn't you want them to read?
But you want them to read the Bible?
To find out that they
And
get.
then like, it's just stupid.
Right, just read it and find out that Europeans were in Africa, like doing things, doing cool things, and then and you were in nappies or something, or Bantu, or I don't know.
And furthermore, like, why, like, the so-called slave Bible was like, why would they have to take out certain books? Like,
Right.
why?
Oh goodness, did you just say slave Bibles?
Yeah.
Right. See, you know things. The fact that you can say slave Bibles means I don't have to say anything more. What would that? Why would there be such a thing? Why would there be such a thing?
Why would you have to do that? Like, come on, man.
Let's talk to me. Like, see,
Can
and
we talk, or you just dealing with smoke and air?
then okay, here's the thing. Never mind what a black, ugly nigga thinks. Forget about that. It's not worth the time of day to find out, right? Let's start to look at the pretty, nice white people. What the hell did they find in that book that they had to to edit?
Right, like.
What did you interpret in that book that you were like, oh,
so inherently on their side.
right,
If it's so inherently bad
right,
thing, like, that's some pussy, like.
yeah,
Yo, I can't
that's
stand
great,
the,
that's
like,
great,
dunceness, man.
yep,
Like,
yep.
I can't stand the just lack of reasoning.
But it don't
Like,
make no
bro,
sense.
If it's their
Oh yeah,
thing, if it's their inherent automatic saving grace thing,
right,
why would they need to take anything out, bro?
right. Why would you like? What is reading gonna do to anyone? Like people dunce and can't reach nowhere in their life. Them inherently, like, you know, see what going. Like, bro, like I can show you Torah in Arabic, in Timbuktu, or you know that West Africa region, like in Arabic, like there's no contradiction in a certain sense if you understand the socio-political movement, which is Islam, which was utilized to the max to big up the people, and in every way intellectually, financially, everything, Mansa Musa was a Muslim.
And see, what they don't realize, God, them Bash Muslim Islam's like anything Abraham and them Bash, but like
Mansa Musa was a Muslim, like the richest.
what they don't understand is that the money I know where I said about Arab and them things that like them I deal with racism, like that don't have nothing to do with the religion, like
Right.
that them I deal with racism. Like,
Right.
They're dealing with racism.
Like there's a Knicks team still, but Frazier them and Earl of Pearl is not on it anymore. Like anyone?
Exactly.
Just because
Those
it's called the
guys
Knicks.
deal with racism.
Just because it's called the Knicks, don't expect to see I don't know. You know what I mean? Allen Houston still on the team. Like
Because Persian, the Iranian, them are not Arabs.
exactly.
Or to some people they call them Arab,
But
them
they're
call them
wrong.
Arab.
But they're
Them
wrong.
not call them Arab. They're not Arabs. Like they're Persian.
They don't. And again, Arab denotes like your language. Like in a certain sense, people like in this time you call the people by their language in a certain sense. They speak this, so they are this kind of people, right? Those are a Farsi kind of people, right? They're not Arabs because they don't speak Arabic.
There are certain type of people like them kind of more closely linked with Indian,
Right.
like Northern Indian, like them are more like them.
Right.
And then people like in Afghanistan and the place there's a different kind of people. Like
Right, but
the people that are different from the people in like Yemen and Saudi Arabia.
exactly.
Like a different something like you have to know. And then
No, but
people in Yemen.
But that's how they kill out
like,
people, and that's how they diss people, and you don't even know so them are diss people, you know, because them have your black and white, you think. Like, you have the black, white, and you think about black, white. Meantime, enough little intricate, sophisticated, different peoples are dead out. And you can't know because you don't know, they never say black, they never say white yet.
This color thing. You have
Yeah.
this color thing, which is
Yeah.
absurd because
Yeah.
you could have people that have you can have like 5 different people.
Yeah.
From different so-called races. You
Right.
have 5 people, and they might the same color.
Right. Exactly.
Same color.
That's just like, I wanted to even touch on that when you were talking
They
about
have the same color.
when you were talking about Canaan,
Color.
and they can even have family ties. They can even have ethnic ties,
Right. So you
and still be a different people.
color. You using color as a racial marker
Right.
identifier is like it's shaky. It's shaky because you can't have a man that y'all call a color. A man that y'all call black. A man that you not call black. Blacker than him.
Right.
Like, yo, what are you doing? Like,
But that goes to show you that it's not a color. It's a
exactly.
identifier.
It's
It's a mark.
more
It's
than
trying to
that.
say these people
It's
know.
more than that.
It's. They're trying to show you it's more of a description.
It's more than color because African and South Asian can have identical color. Identical color.
And some of them identical hair also, because
Yeah, so
people in India, not everyone in India's hair is the same texture.
But yeah, but we deal with color. Since you have to use color to identify a whole quote unquote race. So if them two people are not the same color, what makes that person alone get identified by the color and not that one? What causes that? And that you have to explain to me, and they can't do that. Like, you know, the things sick that people have.
Because I want somebody them I try this. Is a somebody where them I try
Like,
this.
if them two people are the same, exact same color, how come there's only this one you say is a color? Is a color.
It's one of them you don't like.
And one of them was the exact same color.
No business.
You know, sister, the thing's strange.
The peculiar institution, but it's just a
And then
little
you ask
something.
them that, if you ask them that, they say, because it's Africans is black. Because Africans is black.
What?
Like, it's like the reasoning just left.
That doesn't make any sense.
Like,
What you just said sounds stupid.
at that point, mind, and that's like, for you to come down and say something about that is like, it's a slap in the face, like, it's a real slap in the face, like, people really feel offensive, like, people really feel offensive to the team, man, like, you know what I mean, like, they're not like that, like, challenge their entire world, like,
yeah, but them build them house,
everybody in the world,
them build them house pan sand, them build them house.
everybody in the world agree to this, but who you? Everybody in the world agrees to I'm that man, I'm white person. Everybody in the world agrees to that.
It's just so simple and easy to understand. Like, why would you go into anything more?
I hear you come with your fuckery.
Yeah, like, I got people that hate me because I'm not sitting down and letting CNN like mold my head every day. Like CNN is not in my heavens. Like, if you watch the news, the world is coming to an end. Like, the things they're saying, I watched 10 minutes. I couldn't deal with it. I don't watch those things. Like, you can't just be like, oh, by the way, if you wear or idolize or almost deify the shape, you are big enough. You know what the shape is, right? You're literally like bigging up white supremacy, like what they like to call white supremacy or whatever. I feel like a better, I don't want to get into a better term right now. This is easy. You understand? Way to get to touch on the idea. Like, you're literally bigging up white supremacy, and you're actually like bigging up like an open air, like prison, like you understand me? I said like the shape is an open air, like psychological prison. Like, so what? The more you then beat this shape, the more you can't see. Like, we never business about the shape.
You close off everything.
Right.
Outside,
So you're like a psychological open air prisoner of that shape. Like, you feel like it's a big continent, but like your mind, as soon as a man talk about like 1 inch outside of the shape, he said, no, I couldn't because
your mind lock off.
Yeah, because we were locked into the shape for millions of years. Like, we only stepped foot on the shape. They literally feel like we lived on the shape until the white man came for us.
It's crazy.
No, seriously.
It's crazy.
Right? Even though there's no such thing as the Middle East.
It's like an electric, electrified fence. Like,
Right.
Right. Yo, it's crazy, man.
Not even Madagascar. Tell a man say you did live in Madagascar, and then tell him say a lie. I tell you that outside of the shape, brother. Right, like, you understand me? I said, like, it can't fit on the chain, so it no belong to it.
Also, man, I come from Canary Islands.
I was just about to say Canary Islands is up on the shape. You understand?
So, man, from yard come from the first man that when they step forward the yard, go over Africa, they say, Canary Islands.
I think if you think about it, it makes sense.
The first man them a Canary Island they come from. So you better have bloodline in a yard from Canary Island.
Right.
You go down to this name.
And again,
Easily.
who are those people? Like, where they dropped off the face of it, like they dropped out of the sky onto the Canary
And it
Islands.
could be any number of people because them have a tendency to make this shit look like a some woolly man and stand around like.
Yeah, but that's the point I'm trying to make.
That's how they make people think of it.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Like an army. It's like an army over there, like a whole set of men like standing up over here, like.
Yep.
They make it look like a son.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
look like it's like now. It was like that. No, people just are living their life and I'm going about them thing like.
People
It's
that
like now.
say people that are Canary Island because of the fall of Jerusalem 70 AD. You understand? Because first time nobody never used to live over there, so but a true a true people did I try to get her from some of them little dirty vampire, yeah? Then decide say, you know me I got islands, me you know me I got build a life of islands, like nothing's going, nothing's going like but
think of how many people passed through those islands. Okay, it's between the whole Mediterranean world, like
exactly.
It's between Europe and Africa.
Exactly.
Like, come on, man. Like it's close to Spain and it's close to Africa.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
As far as I'm concerned, Spain is northwest Africa. Period.
So I'm saying, like, so think of how many different, you have people that come from Europe, you have people that come from Africa, you have people that come from Asia. Like,
cause beer so-called where them love called black people used to live or where them name called Spain one time. Like no white man never used to live in Spain one time. That's Africa too.
Think about that too.
That's Africa.
Think about all of that war thing and all the thing that were born the Iberian Peninsula. Think about that and think about Canary Island. Man never, you don't think man never go there?
But that's what I'm trying to say. You come like them feel like a man from Canary Island. There's no such man from Canary. I mean, I understand what you are saying, but the thing is, if we really look, if you put it deeper, there's no such thing as a man from Canary Island. You can't just born a Canary Island like out of the blue. People went to Canary Island. Not a thing wrong with what them I said. Me not diss them, but me I said. Me not say yesterday or like them just get there yesterday. Me I talk about thousands, if not millions of years. Like if you really want to get deep. So
that's a place where people are gonna come to.
Exactly. Of course, you can find some man who say, "Yo, we there from first." Like, yeah, man.
Of course.
Yeah, man. Nothing wrong, and it good at true too.
You can have man live there. You can have man live there.
And you could have someone who live there from long time, and that means that.
Different ways of people.
All right. So stop.
Different ways of people.
Like, what? Stop. Like, there was
just by the location.
There was a people named exactly. There was a people named the Canarsie people. You see, you meet any recently?
Exactly. The same thing with Canary. Them said them extinct because them think they are them.
All right.
The
only thing you can know about Canarsie and say, wait, is a people, but me, nobody thinks about it. Is when you go to the park on the water, you see one man will look like say my Indian, like with some feather, and it's a Canarsie, and you go, oh yeah, it's a people.
Exactly.
It's a people. The area was named after the people that lived there. They're not there anymore.
I was checking, you, man, this thing was still, like, the Garifuna. I know I've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, Garifuna. I seen a video, and this shit was like, man, he was going in. And he's a Rastafari too. He's like, Garifuna in Guatemala.
Yeah.
And he was going in. I gotta send you that video, man.
Please do.
He was going in, like, man. Yo.
When,
you gotta check that.
What kind of things did I touch?
I know I've been telling you about Garifuna, but like, man, he took it to a different level, man. Like, when they were saying that the Garifuna language is Arawakian.
But I told people, but I keep telling people, that's how I tell people all the while, like Arawak is like, we're the Arawak, bro. Like, if you understand what I'm saying, like the Arawak, because like you're not gonna get, like, your ancestors are not gonna come from Africa, right? And forward and meet people that look just like them and them know the land and and it's more of them than you're gonna link with the people, like the people are gonna mesh. So the bloodlines are gonna mesh based on the socio-political landscape. It's just inevitable, right? So you don't have to you don't have to go like you go to ancestry.com and then say you are Bantu, and then them show you the place on the map where you be, and then you say, yeah, me a Bantu from Yasso, Like you don't understand haplotypes. You don't understand haplogroups, rather. Like you don't understand DNA. You don't understand human beings. You don't understand migration. You don't understand like genetic markers. Like genetic markers do not tell you what country you came from.
This was this was like more of what I needed to hear, like
But
in like the Caribbean region and
yeah,
the
but
Americas
nah, but like the
region.
way how they, but like that's why I be telling people like Arawak is a man from the Western Hemisphere. That's why I always talk about uh, uh, the indigenous side of the story. You understand me? Because and
It's
that's you have
very neglected.
like you,
Because there might be a certain narrative
right,
on this
and
certain
and
things.
if you say talk about the other part of it, because it's much more complex than you think. When you talk about the other aspects of our experience in the Western Hemisphere, then you fight Africa, or you you don't want to be black. You're right. You're right about that. It's interesting. We agree on one thing. Like it's weird. Like, but you don't understand that the so-called Arawak, right? The so-called Jamaica, like even like 'cause some people have Jamaica, like yo, we want to come off of Jamaica because I know my land, we want to go back to Africa. Like, you don't understand what's happening, bro. Like, you don't understand
But
what's happening.
see, them thing that for learn because it was interesting because he was saying like the more of the Africans went to like Jamaica and Haiti and things. He was like, you know what I mean, those is where most of the Africans went.
Facts.
Those type of places. So we survived in
Brazil,
these kind of places.
Brazil.
Yeah, right. He was like, so we survived in these kind of places because they never shipped so much like to these places. So we were able to keep our culture and our language to a certain extent. It's wild. It really is wild.
But them diss up the thing, like the Pacific Islands, them, like, and a lot of the Pacific Islands have a lot of liquor, like even Hawaii, them still, like lots of them ships, them ship only for people from other places to try mess up the thing so you can't know who them take away whole heap of people from the world places. Them even did that in the mainland. That's why they used to call it Barbados, because they used to take people from New England and carry them go Jamaica or Barbados or St. Kitts or one of them places there. So like, and this is document. I can show you the book that the persons that was doing that, you understand what I'm saying, like wrote about it. Like, it's not even like that. Like, it's not yo man, back in the days they used to. It's not a back in the days they used to thing. I'm talking about documented things. These are recorded things that happened.
The Arawak bloodline mixed in with the African bloodline.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But that was mostly, I think it was mostly with the Maroons. I think it was mostly with the Maroons and some other like hillside people and like Indian.
But you have to understand, like, but the thing about it is that mostly, right? That means it wasn't. Then that means it was everybody, because like everyone, because everyone who, like every scenario happened. Like, you're gonna have a maroon that like ended up in slavery, like do you understand what I'm saying? And had children, like, and boom,
Every scenario.
like everything happened. So it gets homogenized. Like at the end of the day, it starts like this.
You have Jamaicans from Madagascar.
Exactly.
You have Jamaicans from Madagascar. So it's a whole bunch of different.
That's what I'm saying.
A whole bunch of different things. You have Jamaicans that came from Madagascar.
And see, but the thing for me is, like, that's where a guy kidnapped one of our ancestors, right? Or some of our ancestors. We don't know where they were going. We don't know where they were coming from. You see what I'm saying? Because there was a lot of exodus going on after 70 AD, and that's where all of the migration from east to west happened. You understand me? Over a period of time. And there was nowhere else to run. They had to take a stand. You understand what I'm saying? In West Africa, and that's where Timbuktu happened, and so on and so forth. And then little by little, like, it got eroded and different corruptions, and then finally, you understand, transatlantic. You understand me? Like at that last ditch time. So there's lots of people that have homogenized, like over time. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of different
So
people.
it's just like trying to say, um, um, Ruben is over. Yes, I mean, what they call it, the Mexicans? Yeah, we used to make fun of it, like.
Oh man, I wish
Issachar. You understand me? You say, if Issachar come over here, then Issachar. Like what? Like there's no way on earth you followed Issachar all the way to Mexico, bro. Ha Moab. Look at Moab. Moab back to them. Look at Moab. Look at what Moab is saying. Like, what are you doing? Like, you don't even know what Moab means. You don't even know what Moab actually.
Just like we said earlier, your mind is working in the racial sense. Like
Exactly.
that's how your mind works.
Exactly.
So you put that onto everything.
Exactly. Superimpose.
Reality.
You superimpose your little template because that's the only thing. The way that because bigotry and prejudice and racist systems have hurt you so much emotionally that you you have to see everything through that lens. Like you
were born into the era of racialism and nation statism. Like that's the reality. You were born into where everyone is based on race and nation states. Like that's your frame of reference. Like that's how you see reality in terms of like racial groups and nation states. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you're conditioned. Like that's how you're gonna cut everything. Like if you get a canvas, that's how you're gonna paint it. That's the only paint you have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Racial groups and nation states.
That's it.
All you know.
And if you read a book from way back in the day, continents are funny. Continents are a hilarious concept.
To an extent.
Yeah. But yes, continents are in there because they've carved like what continents mean. Like there's a certain connotation to continents, and it has a racial.
Nowadays that's a modern kind of connotation.
But this is the thing. But people think like when they think back to the ancestors. When they think back to the ancestors, they start thinking about the shape. And that's a big problem. So when I tell you, oh, like some of my ancestors actually didn't live in the shape, like at a certain point. What? Like that's it. That's all you got to tell certain people. Like I'm kind of talking about outside of shape. Even I, like when I realized that like I was watching the shape too much. It really made me realize I was like, yo, as much as like I've broken out of certain kind of thought, that was a strong one. That was still there.
You have the pendant, you have art, you have.
That's what I'm saying. Like they really beat it into you, and like you, like I'm not proud of this shape, bro. Like I'm dealing with my people.
It's a powerful symbolism.
Yeah. And it has a certain, it has a certain use, but it fails at a point. If you understand what I'm saying, like at a point.
It's like anything else. It's a philosophy. You know?
Right.
It's like anything else.
But there's a dead end to it because the minute you start talking about like what they call Saudi Arabia right now, like it's becoming like you're talking about another race, and it's like people have boats, you know. And people didn't need boats at a time. Like the Suez Canal is not a real thing. It's a man-made thing. It like, and one time the sea level wasn't that as high as it is now, so it was even more. You see me idea of it? It was even more.
I mean, it's like if Marina to the limits, man, it's like people think like. It's a very difficult thing. That's how I come to think he repeats it. Because people fall in the same thing.
some little shamagli or some elders I remember some things and try like tell the youth them and then youth them grow up more. I gotta have the new generation of youth them will go through the catechism, them are gonna feel disillusioned about that old world. So them are gonna say, yo, we don't wanna learn that, like, and they may learn, some don't wanna learn. Right? But the point is that a lot of stuff are gonna get lost because the institution and the something them where they build it's gone now. Yeah, son, the temple lit down, like this, that. Like you can't tell certain people. Yeah. Exactly. Right.
So, yeah, even just the whole sound system, where the culture was, that's totally changed. Like,
Totally.
so, things can't happen. Like,
yeah.
Things can't happen.
And you turn around and think just not like that anymore.
Good roots band. It's not Jamaica you're looking first. Like a good roots reggae band.
Before that you want, yeah, you have to look elsewhere.
I know Jamaica y'all look first.
Yo.
You know what I mean? So things change. Like,
Yep.
things change. Like
Yep.
time changes shit. For whatever reason. Whatever, good, better or worse. It can change. So, force is everything. Technology, everything. Everything. So, things got lost.
Oh, that's what we're going to do. I look out when something there. When we break down the word Sankofa or Sankafa. A man say, oh, a three word. Make that word up. Me not say no, because so many things have happened. People are trying to remember, like how we have said, certain things got passed down, but certain things got distorted based on the circumstances. So it end up be like that now. A whole new system developed based on what did that happen, and then it can be like this now. Just like me give the example, what if a word come from Latin and French and all these things and come be English word? You can't tell a man say, I don't know English word now. You see me, Alfred? You can't tell a man say, A, B, C, D, E, F, G don't mean nothing because it come from this and that, blah, blah, blah. That don't mean nothing to whole heap of people. What you talking about? And this what me know about. So this, it don't come from nothing. No? But that's how the thing go. Over time, things morph into other things. You can't find one Canarsie Indian right now. Not one. And the place still named Canarsie. Wicked. You may find a little one sign at a recreation park that tell you say, yo, John knows. One and two man used to live here so one time, you know. You understand? Easy, yeah?
It's just like Egypt. It's like easy for them to try and hide everything that the money gets back on. Try and hide everything that the museum and the money is.
And pop off nose every minute. Them corral the natural black people them from the south and push them south, you know. My brother. Actively fighting, like actively obscuring. And even a long time, one time thing. Through the day, them are actively pop off nose, them actively a paint down thing. And I carry things in the basement and I hide and beer thing. Yeah. They don't want to see nothing. They don't want to see nothing.
But too bad, like, some of the greatest artifacts that we can't hide it, so like, too bad, you have to make some bonds, like, you have to make some bonds.
But that's their problem. Their problem is they love money. So they let off things some of the time.
Let's also smash it.
And try to lie about it, but the thing is there.
Like the money way I get, like, it's nothing compared to the knowledge that's getting down to
And you have a next set of man in the business, you know. They don't subscribe to certain things. Just because you're a white man doesn't mean that you hate them money and you hate them money. You're part of the group. You benefit from some of the something them, or all of the something them, and I just sight God. But some man they want to write a book and tell the truth, you know. Some man they love to be transferred to them group. Because they want to be right. To big up themselves. Not that them love you, but they want to look like them really know the real story and them to be the big star in that thing. And you say this, but really, I really this. Don't it, I'm supposed to be the bestseller? Don't it, I'm supposed to be the big author? And you get positions in schools and tenure and those things when you get certain bestseller accolades and things, so you can command money if you're on top of the arms. Right. Exactly. So whatever industry, whatever school of thought, if you are a bestseller, if you are a big man in it, money comes with that. So sometimes a man will tell the truth, he just distinguish himself from a guy who I just go with the narrative and the lie. If have a bad new book where groundbreaking, but him really go against some people because he might talk the truth and make people hear the real story. Which him get a big up, and he make a small money at the time, but it chip away. Yeah. It chip away some of the something where the recent descendants of Europe do for themselves. It chip away little of them. Yeah, and it you know, and it make people know, say, oh, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, no business, they can't stop the thing. The system in place now, if we tell the truth right now, it's too late. Them feel so. Them feel like them bad enough to talk the truth now. In a certain sense.
That was before, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And feel like them, the thing gone now. No. Nothing not gone. Or some black nigger Indian in New England take whole heap of land from Brown University back. Understand? Carry them to court and said, brother, in XYZ time, my great-great-grandfather was right here. Him say, you sign this and you forget this for such and such a time, and you do wicked things, and you still have me thing. Nothing no stop. No amount of time can't stop what we are talking about. You could have there from whole long. And Brown, as a brand, they don't want to be seen as a colonist. Eh?
Yeah, as a slave.
Yes, and like them get things through slavery and them are bad people. So that's also a political pressure that you're putting on them.
So they get it. Hey, we're just gonna do hey, you can have all this land back, this whole amount of land, it's your ancestral land, and we're gonna have every month we're gonna have an awareness course, and
they gotta like start to build things.
and we'll have different speakers from the different nations, yes, and we'll
support diversity programs.
No, we have to do this You know what I mean? Our ancestors did some bad things, and we have to make amends, mend fences, and make sure that we build some kind of equity in the community.
Like all kinds of shit they gotta say.
So we thought this was one way.
Right. Just some steps toward. Come on, tell them, Jim.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Making just these are just a few tiny steps toward. I know.
Because the whole campus for give back. Them nah do that.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
Cause them have land span. Them have some land that them turn idiot how much land them have. Them have some land that them can give back land and feel good. You see me I said? So, but people should know the position politically and socio-politically you're in and strike. Just like even how Moses them did know how the thing did go. What do you think? Them are idiot? Them are going to strike and and Egypt strong and they will and it was easy to get thwarted. You understand? They understood the position and remember Moses them was part of the hierarchy of Egypt. So they know where the thing is. So you have to, it's just like even Joshua them, you have to know when to strike, right? Even the Kenny Riders thing, know when for all and know when for all and know when to walk away, know when for run. Everything, if you know when you what you do, it's not that you can't overthrow some a place. But you can't do it when them at high alert and you the low, you have few man and you don't have enough weapon. That don't make no sense to strike then. You see me? And that's saying something there. You have to know what you do. You can do things.
It's really a wild thing, man. But I'm just looking at a whole bunch of different things on this end because it's so many things. It's like the promised land is the area where the Canaan Heights
Right. Right.
or possess or whatever.
Correct.
So there's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. Because Abraham is coming from
Right.
like the promised land is Canaan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole bunch of things there. And the sojourners in Egypt. So it's like it's a whole it's like a whole lot of things there. Man. It's a whole thing.
You know how I look at it? A lot of times, like how the Rastas them did go on Ethiopia. Up to even recent time, that same culture is right there. And the Lijiasu and His Majesty and the whole vying for power and the whole like it even comes to even like it even comes to little skirmishes. Like gunshots fire. Mm-hmm. And they have the same tradition of the long time thing where kings fight. So when you win the war, man respect you because they remember they used to fight with you on the battlefield. You understand? His Majesty come from that type of cloth, so that's why you see him with the foot on the bomb and a shoot gun on him something.
Now the thing is, that's what I'm thinking about this narrative. Like people have all these kind of narratives, like the Hebrews, like are just inherently like in like the Egyptians and like it's like a geographical thing, like a racial thing.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. But that's where they and
don't like Egyptians and Egyptians don't like Hebrews. Like that's just kind of crazy when I really look at it. It's like oversimplified, like way oversimplified.
Way oversimplified.
It's
Way.
oversimplified. But when I think about it, I'm like, wait a second. Like, if you're saying, like, because I always argue that the Hebrews are more of an Egyptian people than who had to be an Egyptian people. Like they had to have come from ancient Egypt. Like they had to have become like the distant people in Egypt.
Right.
If only a few men went over. Like so I think it's like if them come from poor, like you can't really be looking at it so much geographically because as far as them being Egypt and them being Egyptian and them are different races and like if you look at it that way it's kind of crazy because I think about it like them did have a Babylonian captivity.
Yeah.
Isn't Babylon the same areas more geographically closer to her or just so see like isn't that more closer to her? So them talk about Babylon too. Like so like you can't read that signal as an Egypt thing.
Not an Egypt thing, and there's many people who sat in the throne of Egypt. It's not like they're like, oh, America. Like there's an Obama time.
They tried.
There's a Trump time. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a totally different country when depending on who's in the seat of power,
Right.
and those and the alliances with that pharaoh and their beliefs is what's going to prevail at that time. So it's different times.
So like, cause I'm like, them talk about Babylon too. So like, you can't make this an Egypt thing. Like you can't make it an Egypt thing or a racial thing because them our captivity in Babylon. So the Babylon is supposed to be the same kind of people like now the same region.
Right,
the
but
same Mesopotamia region.
but that's the whole point. But the whole point is that it wasn't a racial thing.
It couldn't be a racial.
It wasn't a racial thing. Like there's people, like they're showing you in the Bible that it wasn't a racial thing. Like the so-called Hebrews left Egypt with what? A mixed what?
But this is what the obvious.
A mixed multitude. That they're telling you there's different. It's other peoples came out with them.
Black nationalists and the Catholics always portrayed that like the Hebrews are a different race people.
Right.
Like a different racial.
But that's the whole point. But that paradigm doesn't even exist in that time. Race.
They wanted to see like some kind of like Arab or Persian type of people.
When? How? How did that happen? They think it's now, like people have planes and everybody just like what are you talking about? Like people don't just go places like that, like a whole set of people from way over there don't just able to survive like as an autonomous group, like just like 15 of them just.
It's a lot of groups, man. Like they did Abba Babylon, like there was Abba Babylon. That's what I was thinking about. So I'm like, all right, it's not an Egyptian. You know what I mean? It's not an Egyptian. So like, you gotta look at it as you can't even. It's so many ways to look at it. Like, it's not even really like if I'm thinking about it, it's like I can't see it as like because I'm sure there's some people that stayed in Egypt.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some people that stayed in Egypt. I'm sure there's some that went to other places that it wasn't a part of it.
Absolutely.
So it's like a whole bunch of things that people are not addressing or thinking about. Like, because there's 12 tribes of Israel. Everybody that focuses on Judah, there's 12 tribes of Israel. So even that in itself is telling you the diversity. You know what I mean? And then to going on different lands, like, you know how much thing I'm going this up? Like, to have been in different lands, like, you know how much things, like, you know how much history, how much things go on over the time, but, like,
Brother, you talking about Issachar.
that look a simpleton thing that, like, is crazy right now.
That's how Issachar got there.
Especially this Kemet, like, black nationalist and even Israelite thing, like, the thing is insane now. It's insane now.
Who, Sinetta?
It's not that simple. Like each one influenced each other. Like there's cross references. There's like it's not just like there's this and then there's Canaan and then there's Israelites. Like you gotta realize that the Israelites were living in Canaan. Like before they were even Israelites. Before they even became a conscious people with the vision of a nation, like they were just living in Egypt, like just I lived and being a life in Egypt. So it's a simplified thing, understood, but they would have had Egyptian influences. They would have been living in Egyptian culture. You know what I mean? They would have been living the day-to-day life of Egyptian people. Like,
Even better, because Egypt is not a monolith per se, so they would be living a Mediterranean life.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because then we have to pan out after understanding that. Then we have to pan out and understand that Egypt was influenced by the whole region. And do you understand what I'm saying?
It's a region. It's a region.
So there's a regional culture. You see what I mean? There's a regional culture. So like, it's not dissimilar to their one another. You see what I mean? The only distinctions are families at the end of the day. That's how you get ethnicity. Okay?
And they're living in the land, like their culture, like we live in America, we live like what American people live. Like people live in Jamaica, they're most likely to live like how Jamaican people live. Like
What else could you do?
There's going to be a certain parameter of things that you can't.
Yes, sir.
Extra above and beyond.
Yes, sir.
For the most part, there's a certain parameter that you're going to live within. It's not like you're going to be traveling 500 miles every day. Your day-to-day life is going to pretty much be within a certain parameter. So like these things, it's just the real people on top of the team. It's kind of crazy to me, man. The real people are looking at history like it's kind of crazy. Like history is our regular thing. Like,
Yeah.
shit develops over time.
History is
happens here and there.
History is a day-to-day thing. You know, it's an everyday thing. Yeah.
Them other fun things like in the blocks, like.
Yeah. I'm saying? This is 20s and 30s, and like it's like Rabbi Ford and Rabbi Matthews, them like usually go Ethiopia and like link His Majesty and write things for him and do business for him America. And, you understand? So them did I work closely with His Majesty, and them did have the right teachings. And them did a, and them like those school of people like bring Dr. Ben and them people that like him graduate from them thing. You understand? Like, and then one West, it's just like what we said, things change and leaders go, and then other guys with certain slave mentality come in, and then next thing, then pop up, the whole One West pop up, and there different factions start coming. You understand? So bare ignorance happened at that point. And there was no way, as soon as the guy didn't want to listen, him just go and go take the few man where follow him and go and build our next school like without unruly vibes, you understand? Them man, the original man them was very disciplined. All His Majesty used to deal with them good, you understand? But these hooligan man, but the funny thing, the point I was gonna make though is that the teachings, there's still staple teachings that they had that you can't shake. Like as bad as they are, these guys can't mess them up because their teachings, like the core of their teachings are much more solid than guys making up stuff about chemistry. You understand me? Because those men were serious men, like in the 20s and 30s. So even their little remnants is stronger than these guys think. If you understand what I'm saying. Stronger, and these guys got a lot of misinterpretations, but just core like Bible teachings, it's hard to get some of this stuff wrong. You understand? So they end up busting these niggas' ass. They end up busting these niggas' ass every single time. You name it. There's no debate that ever happened. The big sign of debates that happened used to happen years ago. There's no debate where a Hebrew lost to a Kemet. Never. Ever. It never happened. Even some youths, I was worried for them because I'm like, oh man, this youth not that smart. Like, yeah. Like, yo, this youth, I don't know about this youth, but nope. They couldn't throw them down. None of them. None of them. What's his name? Chaka Utmost. Chaka Utmost. I can't believe they don't know the difference between Ahmos and Utmost. Like, this is my man, Chaka Utmost. Even him be saying it wrong, like, nigga, this is your name. They just can't, like, they just have, like, certain things, like certain words can't be, there can't be a variant in certain sounds. Like, they have to go to, it's like Junior Reed that can't say Compton. Yeah. You know, used to certain things being put together, so they just revert to a word that it sounds like, because it has to be that. Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Like I had a great example one time, like, cause I be hearing it, like, people trying to say certain words, but their mouth don't happen that way. So they end up, they end up butchering the word to suit out what they're used to. You know what I mean? But they're not gonna learn a new sound or a new pronunciation. No way that's happening. That's out.
Exactly. Contown, contown. Rather say contown.
Yeah, it sound like wild town. Like it can't be.
Yeah, contown.
It can't be what it sounds like y'all are saying. It must be an accent thing. I'll say it the way I think it should be said, so that.
Know them things, like, you know them something. Like, you know that, like, I know contown, like wall town, like I know contown.
It's a bad place, you know. Like, it coming like wild town, a can town.
Yeah, I know myself like that.
Even though English Jamaica would be used to those kind of words, those kind of names, like Crompton and stuff like that. So, but Junior Reed specifically is unwilling. See, wow, Canton, Manda Canton. Straight. And Tom. Gotta love it.
I gotta dig into some studying still, like, not for some studying, a couple things. It's just, the whole thing is very interesting, really. The whole thing is interesting. The whole thing is interesting. And the fact that Assyria, Ethiopia / Egypt, when Ethiopia was ruling Egypt, that they had to save Jerusalem. You know what I mean? Like, they leaned on the Ethiopian Egyptian dynasty to help against the Assyrians.
Right.
Who again is from that Mesopotamian type region.
Right.
So that would really blows a hole into the like racial thing. Like,
but this is the thing. But the way they paint it, you start to feel funny. Like when you start reading it, you start feeling like you're going against what it is. No, you're just looking at it for what it actually is. Like just because you hear Assyria doesn't mean it's a white man.
Exactly.
Like you gotta understand that places where you see a lot of white men, they weren't there a couple of years ago, much less a couple thousand years ago. Right?
The Syrians, man, they actually, most of the time I see the Syrians, and I don't know, they look like, well, the car block one to me, like,
but if I'm,
like anytime I check the Syrian monuments, you know what I mean?
but these are the things, and remember them go through Wally invasion and thing. Look how Hawaii look now. You would swear say Hawaii is a Japanese place.
Yep.
You get me? But
that's the Assyrian monuments. The Assyrian monument. First of all, like Assyria wasn't the Assyrian Empire wasn't like Syria today. Like people would think it's like Syria.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's number one. You know what I mean?
But we can't. You never like all of these and the fist in the air and the beret and all of that, and nobody talks about these things like certain people, like Sargon the First, is what you would call a black person. No one says that.
Yeah.
No one knows about these things. Cause you think an Arab man, but you don't even understand. Arab is not an actual people. There's no such thing.
It's not a race. It's
right.
Not a race.
Like there's no such
race.
Like Arab is what you do. It's not.
There's no Arab race.
Oh boy.
There's no Arab race.
There's a language. There was a socio-political strata that were very prevalent in what we know as Africa and that whole region, like for hundreds of years. centuries. You understand me? That was the language of trade. That was the lingua franca. All of that. So you have to understand that, right? Everybody says cool, right? Did everybody come up with that term? Did that term come up in everybody's culture? It came from a specific circumstance, but everyone says it. It's to the point where you think white people came up with it. Like you name it. Like they just churn our stuff into the thing. That's the same thing that used to happen in Egypt. That's even why the crook and the flail came into style with pharaohs. The early pharaohs didn't have a crook and a flail, but it's the influx of people and the influence and the culture, like over time, just like what we were talking about. Like you understand what I'm saying? It's to the point where Obama could get elected. How did that happen? When you understand?
Yeah.
When people used to make jokes how that can't happen, but there can be a situation. That is the reason why the Bible shows you, hey, by the way, like it came a point where like Joseph, and he's symbolic of the people that he comes from, were in a certain place socio-politically in Egypt at a point based on how things were set up, right? But there came a time where there was a pharaoh who did not know Joseph. In other words, Trump came into office and he don't give a fuck about that group that was getting a little bit of more lenient. You understand? So right away, the whole country, the whole political system is bent in a different way, right? And that keeps happening. Like that keeps happening because it's people vying for power. One time, even Rome did sit up on the throne one time. Eh? And then I'll try to paint up them face by the sarcophagi.
Yeah.
Like in the late time, because they wanted a part of, they wanted a piece of it. Like these white rappers, like because they like it so much, they like how it looks so much, and it look to the point where they want to be it. Like, do you understand? And that's how come all of the systems and everything from what is known as Africa ends up in Greece and ends up in Rome, and you can see the parallels. And, oh, they had the same guys with different names. It was the same people too. It's the same people that brought those cultures and those things, and it gets woven into the society, even though other people come to power. You understand? The culture is still there, right? As much as they hate black people, as much as them people that hate black people, them still watch football like I don't nothing. Them still watch basketball and love it and go on, like them don't see a problem with loving these things and hating the people as soon as the TV turn off. Like, you understand? It's a no-brainer. It's coming like on a nothing. Right? So these things can easily happen. Like you could have like a people who are influencing a culture, and they could also be being ill-treated in that culture at the same time. We see it right now. You don't think it ever happened before? This is the first time, bro? You know what I mean? So we have to understand, like, what happens on Earth stays on Earth. Like, anything earthly is going to keep on reoccurring because that's what Earth is set up for. You understand? You understand? You got to study them zoo types. You got to, because there's an archetypal reality to the Earth and to the universe. As broad as the universe is, there's reoccurring things that happen, right? There's processions and different things that happen even over thousands of years, but it is a cycle, right? So you could catch the wave, like if you could peep the cycle and you understand the system, then you can actually bend it to your, you understand? You can obey your thing. That no people don't understand and feel like it's just random, so you can't help it. And I just saw life go, the Saw Life Go crew, that's the problem. It's a life go, but not.
Some more people are putting it.
Yeah. And Yeah, it easy. It easy if you say that, and it difficult if you like say, nah, I want to do something. That's very difficult. Where do you start? Like, you understand? So you just roll with it, and what happen, happen. And yeah, I can dig it. But there is things you can understand to even navigate a little bit of it, a little bit better. That's why you go to school and them something. Suppose they never send you go to school. You'd have done something to that more difficult. So stop going like you couldn't learn more. You have some people who know more and you and I make money because they know the system more and they know when to invest, what to do. They were taught certain things. You understand? Like you don't know everything. You're not rich. You understand? You're not like you understand. You're not a billionaire. Like you understand? Not that you're not rich, but you don't have $1 billion then. Let's say it that way. You understand? Like at your disposal. And you could, you're a person just like the other person with $1 billion, but you know about certain things where can yield billions. Maybe you don't come across that opportunity or that circle of people or system. You see me? Based on all kind of something. Bigotry. Bigger things could have prevented you from reaching this. You understand? So, but that no mean, you understand? Say it no dead end. Like a different knowledge will bring you closer. You understand? Yeah. You understand? That no mean say that I go better for you. Cause maybe that put you in a different position where maybe you have to compromise certain things where you're not compromised. No, everything have a price. You see me I say? But in terms of raw dollars, you must can know more things and get more dollars through that knowledge there. Or whatever the case is, more something. Like you can make up your own what more you're talking about. You don't have to be necessarily dollars, but any kind of success you're looking for, it requires knowledge. Right? So we adjust that. Adjust that is an understanding we are looking for. You understand me I said? So if you don't know that, like you feel like life just dead and why happen. So why you don't just sit down and shit up and pee up and just make what go and go on? You see me I said?
Just a level of that. Just a little level of a slight level of that. I mean, if they could have done that, then would I do it?
But this is what I'm saying, but for some reason, like you kind of like put underwear one side, you make sure say you have shower, different thing, cause you like your plan that you have to sit down in a PP and DD up, right? So that means that you need a certain level of understanding to do that. You get me? That means if you have a next set of understanding, you almost can do more planning and more setting up and more success, or no? I don't know. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah. Yeah, man. They just sneak where I eat my dinner because when they eat from evening somewhere. So you know what is it? Let me eat the dinner because feel like weird. Yeah. I'm a split your smell. Yeah, man. You know the thing, man.
Yeah, man. You know
Alright. Well.
So, yeah, once again, you know what I mean? You said.
Where they feed?
Salam.
Salam.